Tiffany Gomas, you may know her as the crazy plane lady, who was totally right, by the way. She has decided to finally get revenge on the media because they targeted her unfairly. And they were literally stalking her outside of her home at the time that she was going viral. And I pointed this out. The Daily Mail literally doxed her home address and posted pictures of her from outside her home and were posted up outside her house for like a month, if not more. And she just finally decided she had enough and she wanted to talk about it on Twitter. So here was her first post of, she shows an envelope sent to her from a correctional center from a prisoner.
Is Lovelock Correctional Center a real place?
I guess so. It's from Lovelock, Nevada.
Okay.
Got another prison letter today.
Lovelock.
She said, got another prison letter today. Thank you, New York Post and Daily Mail, for doxing the hell out of me. He does have nice handwriting, though. ...
I love the idea that they film Lovelock down in Lovelock, Nevada.
Well, they have Love After Lockdown, right?
Love After Lockdown.
Lockup.
Is it Love
I don't
After
know.
Lockup? But they should film that in Lovelock, Nevada. That makes perfect sense.
But you know, at least he's in prison, so he can't come after her.
Yeah, but he's gonna get out someday.
Right, but he knows her. He knows her home address. This is a prisoner who knows her home address, and I would be extremely off put by that as well. So she continued. She said, one of my fave media moments, New York Post hired a freelancer to stalk my every move. After a week plus of him sitting in front of my house in a monster green Jeep, he decided to file a police report.
And why would he do that?
He said in his police report, I'm a freelance photographer in Dallas. On August 14th, 2023, I accepted an assignment from the New York Post. The subject was Tiffany Gomas. The assignment was to start on August 15th, 2023. My assignment was to take the place of another photographer on the street in front of her home. I went to the address about 4 p.m. August 14th. As I was not familiar with that neighborhood, I did not have my professional gear with me. After I sent the client iPhone photos of the home from the street, the client asked me to spend a few hours on location that same evening. This is the New York Post. I arrived after 5:30 p.m. and parked my Jeep so I could see the property's driveway.
He's got to get a less conspicuous car. That's his real problem.
I was legally parked on a public right-of-way and did not block private driveways. I remained on public property the entire time. Around 7 p.m., I saw in my peripheral vision what I believed were first responder red lights reflected in the window of, I assume, Tiffany's house, as if their vehicles were driving down blank street name. On second glance, I realized these were not first responder lights, but in fact, a red laser pointer being pointed in my direction by a white male teenager standing in front of the windows of Tiffany's house.
The local kids just want to terrorize him. It's hilarious.
He was about, I think that this is referring to someone who was in Tiffany's house.
Okay.
He was about 5'5", medium build, blondish curly hair.
That could have been me.
A white t-shirt with a Texas Tech logo. According to Dallas CAD, the property is owned by, that's redacted because it's Tiffany's house. As can be seen in the photograph, the perp made no attempt to hide himself behind a curtain. Rather, he just stood there looking directly at me while wiggling the laser pointer.
It's that type of precociousness. You know what it makes me think about? You know, in TV shows and movies, whenever like a young kid like interacts with like a grown person, they go, "Hi, Mister." Has anybody ever actually seen a kid call an adult they don't know Mister?
I mean, when I was a kid.
Did that happen?
I was young, but yeah.
This is just the epitome of journalist entitlement, that you think it's okay you were posted up outside someone's home to take pictures of them from inside their windows and you feel violated when they point something back at you. He said,
sniper scope.
I tell you what, my house is not like a house like anyone else, like on the road or whatever. So that kind of stuff, I mean, it's going to happen. Go ahead. Anyways, it makes me so mad.
He continued, I could have easily been blinded or my camera sensor damaged. The editor at the New York Post asked me not to do anything immediately in order to avoid, quote, becoming the story. The next morning, he advised me to file a police complaint as soon as my assignment was completed.
Malcolm Flex says, "Wow, this is stupid of them filing a police report for the damage that could have happened if a laser pointer wasn't being shined through the window. Just odd."
The journalists cry out as they strike you. Seriously.
I just want to write this hit piece about you. Why are you so upset?
It's true.
I'm just trying to stalk you. What are you so mad about?
At least the TMZ reporters are chads who don't complain when their stuff gets broken.
I think it might have been one of her neighbors. She said my neighbors were so over it, so he goes and files a police report while he's stalking me and taking photos of everyone on our street like they asked for that. So really, she wasn't the only victim here, because by doxing her, you're doxing everyone around her as well. I thought it was seriously out of line at the time that the Daily Mail just posted pictures of her house and then taking pictures of her inside her windows, like not even coming out for interviews, just trying to mind her business. It was crazy.
Yep.
And she really didn't even do anything to justify that. It's not like she was some kind of public enemy. All she did was have a mental breakdown in public.
This is my favorite response, where a dude just goes, "Unless the guy had an illegal laser, commercially sold laser pointers in the 3 to 5 MW range have zero reports of causing any type of damage to people's CCD camera. Those are like hobby cameras, can be had for $80. And then he just goes and just owns the dude with facts and logic.
Owned.
Pwned.
Destroyed. I think that Tiffany didn't have, she didn't deserve to have that much ire thrown at her. I feel like there was kind of a moral outrage over her. People were complaining about her using bad language on the plane.
Yep.
Seriously, as if we don't have bigger problems to worry about. There are people getting punched in the face in coordinated attacks in New York City right now. And Tiffany Gomas has one little mental breakdown on a plane.
She has a mentee bee.
She has a little mentee bee, and you're having a moral outrage over it.
I did see somebody equate it to this. They said, remember when she said that MFR is not real and she's talking about all this? What if she was one of the early cases of this? Rare disorder that makes people think they're seeing demonic faces like a creature in a horror movie.
Yeah, I saw something about that yesterday.
Could have been true.
Well, what is the rare disorder? Schizophrenia?
Oh, I can't pronounce it.
It sounds like schizophrenia to me.
Prosopagnosia. I'm not pronouncing it.
Yeah, apparently you actually do see faces morph and stuff. So that's not schizophrenia. Schizophrenia tends to be voices.
I mean,
correctly.
Schizophrenia means you hallucinate both visually and
is it really?
And audibly. It doesn't matter which one it is.
It's a rare disorder that makes people think they're seeing demon-like faces everywhere, with people's eyes and mouths stretched out and ears painted in deep grooves. Yes, but are they real? Are they real? That is the question.
Those MFers aren't real is the thing. Most people assumed that Tiffany was just drunk.
Yes.
Or possibly
Xanax.
Possibly on drugs.
Maybe.
Look, she never clarified, though, and I really don't even think she should have to.
No. Not at all. It's no one's business.
I mean, a lot of people didn't believe so. Andy, who used to work here, has face blindness, where you can't recognize faces.
Oh, yeah. What is that called? There's some kind of name for that.
Yeah, but he has face blindness. So, a lot of times, in the early days when he started working here, they would send him to pick up people at the airport. And he's like, that's a certain level of hell for a guy who can't recognize faces to have to pick up people from the airport.
That is, man.
We love Andy. We love Andy, and we miss Andy.
Well, he knows your face, right? If he's interacted with someone a bunch, he knows your face, right?
No, I mean he picks you up by your voice, and
That's insane.
in other ways your brain fills in the gaps.
I cannot even imagine. That's crazy. There's people who
Gen Z will have that, but that's just they won't make eye contact with anyone. They won't know what anyone looks like.
Well, there's there are people who say that they can't visualize an apple in their mind, or they can't rotate objects in their mind.
That doesn't make any sense to me. People that I assume they are telling the truth, but I don't even consider myself a visual artist. I find it difficult to come up with concepts for covers and stuff, and for shirts, and I tend to work with the artist a lot to get to the stuff that I'm looking for. And even that being the case, I can still vividly see an apple in my head.
Yeah.
And I see it with small imperfections. I see the shadows on it. I know where the light is coming from. The whole the whole 9 yards. Like, so it's so foreign to me to hear people say that.
Do you think it's an IQ deviation, or is it just you're born with it or not?
I don't think that it has anything to do with IQ. I think that there's a lot of variation that has happened in evolutionarily when it comes to human beings, and as long as it doesn't lead you to end up dead, then it's okay that it works. Like, so like people might have different, like there might be different ways that people's brains are wired, right? And I'm not saying that I know this or not. And evolutionarily, that makes sense just so long as the result is survival, right? So I do think that humans can be pretty different in the way they conceptualize things and the way that they interact with the world around them. So.
What do you?
They were talking about fear of long words in the chat. That's the fear of long words.
Say it.
I'm not saying that. Somebody else can say it. The point is, the fear of long words is an extremely long word.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Hippopotomonstrosis That was not well.
Also, this one, which is the fear of palindromes is a palindrome.
I like that.
Yes.
Do you think that Tiffany was just lying for attention?
I think that she danced artfully around the idea that she might have had something to drink or might have taken a Xanax before doing it.
There's something embarrassing that she didn't want to admit to.
I do.
Listen, so there's a friend of mine. The name is going to remain nameless, but this man licked a woman on a plane, and it was international flight. So like when they landed, he got like picked up by the cops. And like he was subject to maritime law, and he almost went to jail forever, and he can't go to that country anymore. But like stuff that happens on planes, it like people get weird when they get drunk and on drugs and stuff like that.
You're
It changes.
In a tin can at how many thousands of feet?
Yeah, okay? Like so you have, and especially someone like these are assumptions, but Tiffany Gomas seems like she's a professional from the corporate world. Probably is not consistently doing drugs and consistently taking pills. Takes a pill, has too many drinks, and next thing you know, she is on a different planet. You know,
I mean,
because that happens. Believe me, I don't drink anymore.
The first time that I went overseas, I remember nothing from that trip because I did so much like Dilaudid and Vicodin on that trip that it's completely gone, the whole thing. But no bad behavior. I just, I landed.
You kept to yourself.
And I took
You didn't
off.
lick anyone.
I did not.
You didn't accuse anyone of being fake.
I vaguely remember the various TV shows I watched in like increments of specific episodes, and the rest of it is just a blur. But that's just because, like I said, I used to think I loved traveling. No, I just used to love doing drugs while traveling. Now I don't like traveling as much.
You said you like airports.
I like airports at night.
I just think airports these days especially put people into this primal anxiety that they cannot handle, and they start fighting each other.
The best interpretation of now is like the dad who needs to be there 5 hours early lest they miss their flight.
Yeah.
Dad's, it's like the flight's at 3 p.m. and he wakes you up at 4 a.m.
Everyone get in the car
to get there on time.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.